Houston, Texas, again, our host today as we preview the upcoming basketball season for all 26 programs, men and women in the Southland Conference. And up next, of course, the men, the Lions of Southeastern Louisiana, over there in Hammond, America, as we welcome in Jay Ladner, the unofficial mayor of Hammond these days. A lot to look forward to. You had a swarming defense a year ago, and that's despite being without some key players that you'll have healthy this year.
Well, we certainly are excited about getting 3 young men back. That 2 of them that were former starters that missed the entire season. Jordan Capps is the 3rd young man. He did play our first 2 games, so it's good to have those guys back, as well as a number of players that are returning from last year's team.
Let's take a look at some of those key names that you'll certainly recognize if you've been following the Lions. Marlon Veal, always a pesky guy to match up against out there on the court from one end line to the next. Joshua Fillmore, but I know, again, Caps leads those names of guys that are healthy, and he will go nicely now with all the other young men who got experience in his absence.
Well, certainly excited about having Jordan back. He finished his junior year very strong and was named to the all-conference tournament team at the end of his junior season. Then, unfortunately, he had a Liz Frank tear, which is an injury that I'd never heard of until last year. We seem to kind of invent some types of injuries or rare injuries, but he's come back strong from that. He's had a good fall. Certainly excited about getting back on the floor.
You saw that mark, 16 and 16, but 9 of those games just by single digits. This is a program under you now we have seen continue to make steps forward each of the first 3 years. Where do you think this program lands this year in year 4? Well,
we're certainly very proud of the progress that we've made, and you've acknowledged that, and you know, we've been able to make some nice steps forward. Well, it's time for us, we hope. You know, our goal every year is to compete for the conference championship. Certainly be great to make the NCAA tournament. That's what we'd like to do. We feel like that we've got the pieces in place to certainly be able to compete, but our conference is great. It's got great coaching, great players. The parity inside our conference is probably as strong as any league in the country. So that's going to make it very, very difficult to accomplish our goal, but we're certainly looking forward to the challenge.
Take a look at your schedule. First up, non-conference play. You get that home opener against Centenary to get a game under your belt, and then some nearby competition at Tulane.
Well, those are 2 longtime rivals of Southeastern anyway, due to our location. Centenary, you know, has been a Division I school up until the last several years, and they've, again, a longtime rival of Southeastern, so we're certainly looking forward to playing them. And then we go to Tulane. Tulane means a lot to our program. We appreciate them being willing to schedule us right there in New Orleans. It excites our fan base to be able to go over to New Orleans, which is only about 35, 40-minute drive.
That conference opener will be in Nacogdoches against SFA, and this is a Southeastern team that has only missed the conference tournament once. As, again, you all continue to improve. I imagine you all are gunning for one of those bye weeks, one of those top 4 seeds if you can.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's certainly why, you know, our conference schedule, you play, you know, 18 games. It's a rigorous schedule, incredible parity, as we've already mentioned. And then, but to have to go to Stephen F. Austin, probably the conference favorite, you know, to start it off is not going to be an easy task. So we've certainly got our hands full. What we want to do is we play a very rigorous non-conference schedule, is to use that non-conference schedule prepare us for the rigors of Southland Conference play.
Jay Ladner, the son of a coach. His father had just one piece of advice for him growing up. You can do anything you want, just don't become a coach. He started 3 years in pharmaceuticals and decided, nope, going to go ahead and take over some basketball programs. They've been better for it. We look forward to seeing you this upcoming year. Tatum Everett will welcome in the new women's basketball coach in Hammond when we return.
Basketball Media Day with a new face, the leader of the SLU women's basketball team, Ayla Gazzardo. And Ayla, you may be new in this position, but not new to the program.
No, I was here last year as recruiting coordinator, served as an assistant coach, so I'm definitely familiar with Hammond.
What was your, yes, and you're from Hammond yourself, so that's pretty cool. And so in Hammond now, what was your first order of business as with the head coach title?
Basically getting in a great staff. I have great people around me, so probably the staff would be the first order of business.
All right, and of course you do inherit a very talented senior guard in Taylin Underwood. Let's take a look at her stats. 18.6 points per game last year was SLU's best scoring average, single season scoring average in 22 seasons, and she can break more records this year.
She can. You know, Taylin has the ability to do anything that she wants. What she's achieved, she's earned. She has great work ethic. She works on and off the court. She puts in the time. So
and there's two names that you believe will really complement her well in your rotation. The Louisiana Freshman Player of the Year, Charlie Dugas, and Caitlin Williams, someone that you brought on yourself as a freshman this year.
Yes, Charlie is coming off a great year, freshman of Louisiana. You know, she will help us tremendously. And then Caitlin will also give us an inside presence with her athleticism. Sky's the limit for her.
I know that the non-conference schedule looks tough, but there's 1 week in particular, or 2 days in particular, that you're eyeing, the Akron Classic. You played at Akron, and you have some familiar faces up there you'll meet.
I do. It's very near and dear to my heart. My old head coach is there, so excited to bring the team up and show what we can do.
As a player yourself and playing pretty recently, what kind of an edge do you bring to the table?
Obviously, experience is what I'm lacking, but I've been through all their shoes, and I think they understand that. I've played, I've coached, I've been through it. I've ran the lines that they run, the sprints that they run, so I think we're on the same page, and they understand.
And as the recruiting coordinator last year, you have your fingerprint on many of these girls, and you've said that with these newcomers, there's a different caliber of athlete. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, we're bringing in kids that can, you know, run, jump, everything. They're just athletic kids. If you see Jaya Francis, Kyla Williams, Morgan Carrier, we have a different type of athlete on our team now.
All right, thank you, Coach. We wish you the best of luck this season. Exciting times down in Hammond, Louisiana for the SLU women's basketball program. We'll continue.